We can literally study 5 times less and still get 80% of results. Let me explain. In most of companies, just 20% of best-selling products give 80% of profits to the company. Moreover, in most of corporations, companies, whatever, 20% of best workers also give 80% of profit to this company. And then in the exam, and it doesn't matter if you look at exams on university or maybe governmental exams, whatever, just 20% of material contains the needed knowledge for 80% of this exam. You can check it on your own or just listen to people who are smarter than me, for example, and see that if only they managed to find this 20% of most important information, they could easily find a cheat code to pass any exam in a studying time which is 5 times or even more smaller than the official time given in the subject's description. This interesting phenomenon is called the 80-20 law or the Pareto law, and it explains the very interesting fact. In most of the cases, in majority of cases in this world, just 80% of the results is caused by just 20% things, and it doesn't matter it is an education or it is a business or it is some financial game, it doesn't matter. After the deep analysis, this rule almost always is true. This law can be explained by the positive feedback, many mathematical laws, the law of powering numbers, and you can use it in your advantage, in work, or as I want to explain here, in studying.
Now you can subscribe.
The whole art is to find this 20% most important information. Let me tell you about my friend which is going with me to university, and it happens that she's one of the best student in our group. And I don't mean the best student in a group of like 10 or 30 people. She's the best student in a group of 100 people. She gets every month a money because her grades are literally so good that she's able to win this award. You think she's studying days and nights and she doesn't have any social life and all she does is just studying? Absolutely not. Despite university, she has also 2 jobs. She has a rich social life, go to parties like a normal human being, have friends, have boyfriend and things like that. And still, she manages to be one of the best students, sometimes even top 1 in my university, and get this award for being so good. Even more interesting fact is that she's not studying like half year before an exam, doing notes and learning half year before for many months. She's just like normal human being, sitting few days maximally, just 2 or 3 weeks before an exam, and then she starts learning. She's absolutely not regular with her studying and she still gets these crazy effects. And when I finally found a way to study with her, I noticed something really interesting. Because when she was studying for exams, she could easily like go through all these PDF files and notice, oh, it won't be on the exam, and skip. And then she will be like, oh, this one will have to be for sure on the exam. And she will try to remind that. And then again, this won't be on an exam. And I noticed that she had this amazing ability to notice what kind of things exactly will be and what won't be on these exams. And it appeared that she not consciously, but actually completely accidentally, created a mechanism which allowed her to detect with a very high success rate the needed material for an exam. And because of all of that, she helped me to use all of this which she knows from her environment to use in my studying, and also for me to become also quite good student who doesn't have problem with any exam. So the first step, what she was always doing, is to read through the old exam papers. Always, I mean really always. And it doesn't matter, is it a governmental exam or is it an exam on university, almost always there is some old paper sheet from a last year, from few last years, and you need to examine those questions as deeply as you only can. You can even print or write down all needed materials, I mean all needed official materials for this exam, and just take a marker and mark needed information which are in those questions. Of course, the more exams from previous years you have, the better for you. But even after 1 year, you will see something very interesting. The core of this exam, 80% of questions, will be just 20% of your studying materials. And it's almost never, trust me, it's almost never, and it doesn't matter what kind of exam you write, 50-50. It's almost always 20-80. Of course, the other 20% from this 80% of studying material will be completely random, and trust me, you will also find ridiculously strange questions, but just focus on this 80%. The core is the most important. Everything else you can do when you will have time, but you will have to spend 5 times more time to get more than this 80% of results. Now, when you will already mark all study topics which are in this 80% of an exam based on few paper exam sheets from a previous years, you can then go into your studying materials, which you should have on the PDF file, and then use some modern technology to make a quick note from the studying materials, which are 20% of the core of any exam. I honestly don't recommend to use the ChatGPT for this, because the work of it's not so specific, and it just look for in a random places, what means that the answers, okay, it might be correct, but it is just so random, and it skips many important information, because it start to just looking in some random places of this PDF file and stop to searching also in some random places, so many things just can be skipped. It's just like taking water from random places in the ocean and not just take a huge hoover and suck it all out. It's just how ChatGPT works. So I recommend to use other AI tool, and the best for look for information in PDF files is Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant. Unfortunately, it's absolutely not a sponsored video, so I give it here as one of the best PDF file searching AI tool. Unfortunately, it's paid, but really, if you try it once, you will notice the huge difference between that and ChatGPT, and how it can easily create really good notes from a topics which you will ask for. Then you will have the perfect notes to just learn 20% of the essential, really essential, and through this get 80% of results. Remember that the most important in this process is finding out this 20%, this small 20%. And if you are more advanced, you can do it through just researching one exam paper sheet from last year. But if you are a beginner, just like me in this topic, you have to search as many exams from a previous years as it's only possible. You should check more than 3 or 4, because it will give you a clue what exactly is this 20%. Because it's so normal that at first you will do some mistakes. You won't see immediately what is in the most important 20%, but the more advanced you will be, you will see what is nice to ask on exams and also what is not, what will even decrease the range of information which you will have to learn. So start marking down the core knowledge, reject these random facts, random things which will take you so much time to learn, but actually don't give so much results. Use different AI tools, use your wisdom, most importantly use the exam sheets from last year to find out this 20%, and then create the good notes from this core knowledge and start to rock. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like, subscribe, like. See you. Ciao, ciao.